Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Cbrev bringing you guys another MLB The Show 19 card review. Today we're going to be going over 89 overall hardware Rollie fingers. So this card is obtainable through the Milwaukee Brewers Team Affinity by getting 50% in that affinity program. So you can do that one of two ways. You can beat March to October with the Brewers on a Hall of Fame or higher by winning the World Series, or you can log 250 innings with Brewers players and then do the exchanges, which come out to about 20k stubs. So especially this late in the game cycle, most people prefer to do the exchanges, and that's what I would recommend as well. So let's get right into the card review. This card is insane. This is arguably the best reliever in the entire game. I know his per nines look pretty average, but his stuff is just absolutely incredible. He's got the sinker four-seamer to get righties out. He's got the forkball to get lefties out. He's just got it all working. This card, I can't stress enough how good this card is. And I'll just go right into my stats here just a little earlier than normal, just to kind of so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So 52 1/3 innings pitched, 1.38 ERA, and you can't see it, but I have 43 strikeouts and only 4 walks in those 52 1/3 innings. The card is just nuts. His stuff is just so good. His delivery is kind of weird too. It's about 3/4, and I think it's a little bit glitched, meaning that the ball doesn't come out exactly where his hand is located when he releases the pitch. It kind of jumps just a little bit, and I think that definitely helps this card. So how I kind of pitch with him against righties, I just pound the sinker. You can pound the sinker down and in, up and away for the back door on 2 strikes is one of my favorite pitches. Running the slider down and away and also up and away is also good with Rollie. I tend to not use the forkball versus righties because I kind of want to save it versus lefties, and that's the beauty of this card. Like I said earlier, is he's really good against both sides of the plate. So against lefties, I'll obviously try the sinker up and away, but the forkball down and in is my bread and butter versus lefties. Also, slider up and in with 2 strikes is really strong. It can kind of run in on them quickly if they're not expecting it, and it also has the same tunnel as a sinker up and away. So I kind of pitch up a lot to lefties, and it works really well, because if you think about a sinker that breaks outside and a slider that breaks inside to lefties, they both start up and in the middle, but it can go either way. You know, that's kind of the premise of tunneling, but with those 2 pitches specifically, it's really good. And then obviously the forkball low is a great out pitch, or just kind of a pitch to get a swing and miss or a rollover, stuff like that. One thing I will say, as far as competition, I try really hard to not use the words good and bad player, but it's kind of important with this card to know what kind of player you're facing. So just for this specific review, I'm going to use the terms good and bad, but use your own discretion. You know, good and bad is relative. But I will say, if it seems like someone is struggling versus Rollie fingers, meaning they're not seeing the ball well or they don't have a lot of experience facing him, then you want to focus primarily on throwing sinkers and forkballs. Those are going to be your most effective pitches against that type of player. If you happen to run into a player who has seen Rollie fingers a lot and it seems like they're very comfortable at the plate facing this card, I actually recommend throwing sliders and actually a lot of four-seamers. And the reason is most good players use zone hitting, and most good players that are comfortable versus Rollie are expecting sinkers. So the four-seamer can actually mess someone up a lot. And I'm speaking from experience of popping out horribly many times, but when you're expecting the sinker from this card, the four-seamer just never breaks, obviously, so you're going to be swinging under the ball a lot compared to what you're used to. It's just really hard to adjust because it's such a different way of pitching compared to how most people use this card. So like I said, use your discretion on the mound. Try to read your opponent. That's kind of just the premise of pitching well in general, but especially important for this card. But yeah, this card is amazing. Everyone should have this card in their bullpen, especially with the fact that he only costs 20k. You need this card in your bullpen. Alright, we're good. So as always, we're going to end this with how I think he rates in general and how I think he rates for his price. You guys can kind of already tell where this is going. His rating in general for the whole game, I would give him an A. Like I said, needs to be in pretty much everyone's bullpen. Card is absolutely amazing. And for the price, he rates at an A+, because he literally only costs 20k stubs. 20k stubs for arguably the best reliever in the game, guys. Go pick this card up. Enjoy the clips after this intro, and I'll see you guys in the next card review. Peace.